Hello, lovely. I hope you're all well and welcome back to another edition of Combat Catch Up. Delighted to be joined by the one and only Luke Tanner. Unfortunately, Jamie can't be with us on screen, but he's in the comments. So big up, Jamie. Also see Chris Brack in the comments as well. Big up yourselves, guys. Luke, how are you doing, bro?
Yeah, could be better, could be worse.
Uh,
Not felt great, but back to work tomorrow. So
I know the feeling, bro. I know the absolute feeling. Um, Where do we begin? So many talking topics have come out of UFC 297. Is there a conspiracy against Sean Strickland losing? Duplessis versus Adesanya for 300. Could that be a possibility? Dana White talks about free speech. HAMZAT's been on the blower to Brett Okamoto today, saying he wants a title fight. He was promised one and deserves one. And could Evloev be the latest title challenger in the featherweight division? As always, guys, please make sure you subscribe and smash the like button. Also, make sure you go and subscribe to Luke's channel and Jamie's channel too. Links are in the description of this video. Luke, I'm going to start with UFC 297, the main event, Strickland versus Duplessis. And the consensus fan favorite going into this fight, Sean Strickland, lost by split decision, 3 rounds to two on two cards, and he won 3 rounds to two on another. When we watched it live, if I'm not mistaken, we both said we thought Strickland won 3 rounds to two.
yeah,
On revision, do you stick by that, or would you change your opinion on that?
I don't know. It's a tricky one because the scorecards. I don't know whether or not you've seen the scorecards about how they've judged it. So it looks like that the second round was the round that sort
The
of
swinger.
decided everything.
Yeah.
And I thought in the second round, Duplessis did better than what he did in the first round. I didn't know if he did enough. I had to say that he definitely won the round, which meant he
Yeah,
would have won the fight.
completely agree.
So I rewatched it again, and I'm like, just because you did better doesn't mean you won.
Mm.
And I don't like this conception that is starting to go around. Oh, if you have a crap round, then you have a really good round. It means that you won the round. It
Yeah,
doesn't work like that. And
precisely.
for me, I still think Strickland did win. It's not like a robbery. It's not the ones because you see after every single tight decision,
Mm.
like if your guy loses, it's robbery, conspiracy. I think Sean Strickland's playing a headbutt, which
I
yeah,
thought it was a punch that caused the cut.
it looks like an elbow, but the one that I think is pre-existing cut, I think got caught with a right, just a
Yeah,
straight right hand, a jab that reopened that cut. But no, I still had it Strickland winning, but it's Duplessis winning. I can see why they edged it to Duplessis, but for me, I felt Strickland should have retained that belt.
yeah, I completely agree. I had Strickland win 3 rounds to two. I've watched it back, and I still maintain that I think Strickland did win round two. I think rounds 1 and 4 were the most definitive. I think Dracus won number three, and number five. I thought Strickland edged that round as well. I think the reason why people are screaming conspiracy with this one more so than ever is because of how outspoken Strickland is, and the fact that the UFC may not agree with some of the things that he's doing. ESPN, it might not be a good look for them. However, we're going to speak about this later on this show. Dana White doesn't really seem to care, and we'll speak on that in more detail.
Dana's a casual. Dana's in I'm a casual fan bracket
Yeah,
because he
he
doesn't.
he really doesn't care at the moment because he's got the slap league. He's making his money. TKO, The Rock's doing stuff with TKO now, so things are all popping off there. Do you think the powers that be don't want Strickland to be champion? And if that is the case, do you think they'll make it more difficult for him to get a pathway to a title shot again?
I don't. I think if you'd ask Dana, because I think Dana's a fan of Strickland, because even in his post fight, he was like, "Yeah, I thought Strickland, won the fight. I
Mm.
had him up, and obviously Duplessis got a little bit offended by that. But I think if it was Dana's choice, Dana would be like, yeah, rematch.
Yeah,
But I think other people, other powers that be, um, I think are going to have a different decision, which is shown by what the rumors are of UFC 300 now, which I don't agree with particularly. Like,
We'll
I'm not
get
a
to
big
that. We'll
fan of
get to that.
rematches. Like, I'm not a big fan of rematches because it's a WWE thing. Like, oh, you've lost the belt, we'll give you a rematch. But this
Well, they've
fight,
stopped doing
for
that in
me,
WWE as well. They've
yeah,
stopped doing that as well.
for me, this deserved a rematch. Like, this deserved a rematch, not at UFC 300 once they're both healed up. But hey ho, powers that be deciding who they want on top. It sounds awfully familiar with WWE. They pick the guy they want.
Very
Funny
true.
that.
Very true. Very true. Shout out to Pimping Distress in the comment section. Shout out to Lucas. Shout out to Football Gospel Tyler Jones as well. Right. I'm glad you said what you said, because I look at the situation with Strickland and it's quite strange that they almost seem like they don't want him to be the champion. And I say that because Colby has been given 3 title opportunities, and Colby's just as outspoken.
Am I still there? Is it me? Chat, is it me or is it Callum that's disappeared?
So it's me. Colby's just as outspoken as Strickland. However, he's been given 3 title
I
opportunities.
think Colby's worse.
He is. And I mean, Chael Sonnen did a poll on his YouTube channel, and I think he's had over 21,000 votes, and 61% of the votes said that it should be a Strickland Duplessis rematch. Now we're going to speak about the rumors between Dricus and Izzy for UFC 300. But first and foremost, do you think Strickland? I know you said you're not a fan, but given how close it was, given the fact that he was champion going in and he lost a very tight decision in a bout that could have gone either way, do you think he deserves a rematch, an immediate rematch?
Yes, I do. I think there's only 2 circumstances where I don't think there should be a rematch. If there's a brutal knockout, or if the champ's been schooled, like Izzy was against Strickland.
Yeah.
Where he was absolutely schooled that there should be no rematch. He should be at, work his way back up. But for this, there should be a rematch for this.
I completely agree. Do you think he'll get the rematch?
No, because I think I've mentioned it to you several times. Is like, I think the UFC want a star that they can control. Because I think after McGregor, the UFC couldn't control McGregor. McGregor controlled the UFC. He called the shots, the UFC followed. And I think you've seen with the new batch of stars, if you look, it's stars that the UFC can easily control and basically tell what to do.
Yeah.
And I think Strickland is in that sort of McGregor mold where he could, wouldn't say he could to the same level that he could tell the UFC what to do, but he's got the fan backing. Well, some fans backing, but I think that's where the UFC will track him down the bottom of the pile. Do not be surprised if they give him HAMZAT. Do not be surprised. I know we'll touch on him later, but do not surprise if they give him the murderer's row of challenges before he gets back to the belt.
The HAMZAT one's very interesting. We're going to speak about HAMZAT slightly later, and it will pertain to the situation with Strickland as well. On the whole, though, do you think Strickland currently is, given apart from Izzy, do you think he's possibly the most popular active fighter on the roster at the moment?
I'd probably say yes, because I know he says some wild, outlandish,
some really wild stuff.
some really wild stuff, but I think he's the most relatable, and I think fans want to back a fighter that they believe is relatable, someone that's similar to them. So I think he is currently the biggest at the moment. It's like in wrestling, Daniel Bryan, WrestleMania 30. Like, he was the people's guy, despite WWE not wanting to really, really push him that far. He sort of changed WWE's mind. Like, okay, well, I will push him. That's what it seemed like with Strickland.
Very interesting. Daniel Bryan, very different character to Strickland.
Oh
Though.
yes, chalk and cheese.
The yes movement is very different to the Strickland movement. We are going to move to subjects though, because again, sticking on the Strickland subject of free speech and being outspoken, Dana White was asked a question in a press conference, and this is the response he gave to said question.
About like, you obviously give a long leash to your fighters about, you know, what they can say when they are up there with a UFC microphone, and you are getting into territory of homophobia, transphobia. Like, is there?
I don't give anybody a leash.
Well, I'm saying you.
A leash?
Like
free speech. I control what people say. Going to tell people what to believe. Going to tell people. I don't fucking tell any other human being what to say, what to think, and there's no leashes on any of them. What is your question?
I was asking that question. I'll move on though.
Yeah, probably a good idea. That's ridiculous to say I give somebody a leash. Free speech, brother. People can say whatever they want and they can believe whatever they want.
All right. First and foremost, this is why I don't know if I could be in the media scrum, because I don't know how to react to Dana White speaking to me like that. Firstly, so kudos to that reporter who asked that question and was able to maintain composure. This is a dangerous road, isn't it? And look, I'm all for free speech. I'm all for people having their beliefs. Like, I'm pretty outspoken about my beliefs, and I know people who have the complete opposite beliefs to me, and we have no problems with each other. I've got great friends who have completely opposite beliefs to me. However, there are certain beliefs that are universal and on the whole universal, and things like hate speech, etc. I think that's different from free speech. Now, I get Dana White saying he doesn't want to control anyone, and I admire that. I do admire that, but there's inconsistencies with what he's saying there, because in the past he has reprimanded people or made people apologize for certain comments. Frank Mir, Nate Diaz, Forrest Griffin, the list goes on. Are we at a point, and you've used a very good comparison with the WWE and the person who's been in charge of the WWE as long as I can remember. Do you think the UFC is in such a powerful position now, and Dana White's in such a powerful position, that he can literally police his own organization and there's no one who can really tell him what to do? And if that's the case, how dangerous is that?
I think it can be very dangerous where there is no one on his level that could basically say, hold on, wait a minute, stop, let's think this through. I thought it would have changed with the mergers with WWE, for them forming TKO. I would have thought that they would have not have been like a crack down on it, but you'd see more fighters being a little bit censored. But by the looks of things, not with Strickland, not with Colby, the stuff with Ian Gary and stuff like that. So that has not changed whatsoever. I think with Dana, I think the only way he changes this is if the UFC if they start losing money. Like, because I think the thing that really rang home was the Colby Leon press conference.
Precisely.
When Colby made that line about Leon's father, and then Dana said, when Colby said that line, pay-per-views went up 25%.
Yeah.
Off the back of that. So it's a tricky one, because some fighters shouldn't be saying some of those things, but when it's making the company this much money, you know, there's no morals when you get up to the Dana White level. The morals are out the window. It's money talks, and if the money stops pumping in like it has been for the UFC, that's when they'll change it. Until then, you know, yeah.
Here's the thing. Do you think it's an articulation issue with Strickland as opposed to the message he's saying? So I use an example without putting you on the spot here. I'm Christian. I know a lot of people aren't Christian. I've got friends who are Muslim.
I'm not
I've got
Christian.
friends who are... Perfect. So you're not a Christian, but we don't have back and forth arguments about Christian. If I was to say to you, do you believe in Christianity? You'd say, no, Carl, I don't. And I say, oh, you know what, Luke, I do. And it ends there, right?
Yeah.
Is it the case of not necessarily what Strickland's saying, but how he's saying it? Is it the tone and the aggression of what he's saying? Because I don't think you have to agree with what anyone else does.
Mm.
I don't think you have to agree with anyone's beliefs, their ethos, or anything. But I do think you have to, one, let people live, and two, have a level of respect for it. Again, depending on what it is, there are levels to this, obviously, which we can't even speak about on YouTube. But for the stuff he was speaking about, we know it's a very sensitive subject, but there's two sides which are very black and white, in the sense of one side is you can't say anything about us, don't say anything about us, and then the other side who is we completely agree and we're going to ridicule and be terrible about it. Whereas a lot of people actually fit into the middle and go, we might not agree, but we ain't got anything against those people. Like, is the issue the fact of how Sean was articulating as opposed to what he's actually saying?
Yeah, I think it's more the delivery. It's I think it's the way it comes across. Obviously, I don't want to get into like.
We can't. Unfortunately,
it's such a tricky thing because, like, if you say the wrong thing, do you know this generation? This
in
generation.
Fact, sticking on that, do you think that is what the main issue is? Because again, Strickland is tapping into an audience, a demographic that you and I don't really like. Let's be real. Like, same with Colby. Like, I look at some of Colby's fans, and I'm not talking about the people who like the trash talk and stuff. I'm talking about the diehard Colby fans who were sticking up for him after he made the comments against Leon, the comments he's made about Matt Hughes and Robbie Lawler, Kamaru Usman's dad. Like, those fans who are like, yeah, no matter what he says, yeah,
that's below the belt.
Is it that demographic? Is it those sort of people who are actually making this situation happen? Because I think it is. Because I know for a fact, and maybe I'm just fortunate, but I've got friends and family that if I was having an argument with someone and I mentioned something like that, let's say, for example, I'm having an argument with someone, I said, oh yeah, but your dead dad's this and that and the other. I know my friends and family would pull me to a side and be like, Cal, don't ever do that again. Like that was so vile. Don't do that. If no one's doing that in their camp, if no one's doing that as a fan base, and if then Dana White as the leader of the organization isn't doing that, then how far does this go? Are we going to start hearing people throwing out the N-word? Are we going to start hearing people throwing out homophobic slurs? And where's it stop?
Izzy literally did that. He went into
Izzy did, yeah.
After Drickus beat Robert Whittaker, but what up, Matt?
Yeah.
You know, you can.
And I didn't like it.
Yeah.
But it's and again, very hypocritical, but I will say it. It's different hearing it come from a black man than hearing it come from another race. But if Dana White's saying there's free speech and it's an open market, someone like Colby would probably say it.
Yeah, and we talk about things spilling over. We know why Colby got that third title shot, because he was about to go after Jorge Masvidal after they had an altercation off of the stuff he said in the build up to their fight. So it's but no one's going to tell Dana nothing. No one's going to tell Dana anything, because Dana's. I guarantee you, Dana's got more power than Vince McMahon at TKO.
Probably has.
Guarantee. Stride. Do you think?
I was just going to read this out. So a lot's changed since Trump's been in, and Dana White and Trump, they are close friends. There's no secret of that.
I think the streamer threatened to do something to Trump. That's why he got banned.
Yeah.
He said, I think, I'm paraphrasing, I think, if I see him, I'm going to F him up, sort of thing.
Yeah, that's not free speech.
I think that's why he got banned. Like, if he just said, I just don't particularly like Trump, I don't think he would have got banned. But apparently that's been the role.
It's a very techie one, and I don't like the direction it's going in. I'm all for trash talk and all that. Like the Conor McGregor era for me is unmatched.
Conor.
The thing is, we say blame Conor, but Conor, when he actually broke through, didn't really cross the line. It was only when he became double champ and then even the Mayweather stuff for me was cool. After the Mayweather tour with the Khabib stuff, that's when I was like, oh, Conor's starting to cross the line here.
Yeah.
And no one sort of reeled him in. And then since that, because Conor's so popular, because he's made so much money, I think people see that as the blueprint. But then on the flip side, you look at someone like Khabib. Khabib's made a hell of a lot of money. Not as much as Conor, obviously, but he's made a hell of a lot of money.
Yep.
You look at GSP, made a hell of a lot of money. So there can be a balance. I'm pretty sure Leon's making good money now, and Leon's one of the least talkative people on the roster.
Mm.
So there has to be a balance. I'm all for entertainment. I'm all for trash talk and fun and banter and going back and forth. But when it turns from and again, people will say, "Oh, it's the fight business." It's not. It's a sport. It's not actually the fight business because you can't headbutt, you can't bite, you can't manipulate small limbs. So it's not. It's a controlled contest. This is not a street fight. Hence why Masvidal almost went to prison for turning it into a street fight. So it's not a street fight. So this isn't the fight business. This is a sport which is heavily influenced by fighting.
Mm.
So for me, I like the fact that Dana's ideology of having free speech is there. I think it's good. But there has to be a limit on it. But I don't know where that fits in. I don't know how that limit is achieved.
I don't know. When you find the answer, you can tell me and sell it. Big money because when you find the answer, you'll solve the answer to world peace.
Yeah, very true. Such a shame. If you haven't already, guys, please do smash the like button. Gonna move on to the next topic. That is rumors of Duplessis defending his title, his newly crowned title against his adversary, Israel Adesanya, at UFC 300. Now, before we speculate whether they'll fight or not, because I fully expect them to fight, it's just a case of when, not if. Do you honestly think Dracus turns around for UFC 300? That's a big ask for him. And he just had a war.
Yeah. Yeah, he looks pretty banged up.
He was. His eye was pretty much shut.
Yeah. Depends how many zeros they stick on that check.
Very true. But here's the thing. And this is where I have respect for Duplessis, despite some of the things he says I don't agree with. He's a man that stands on business, because he could have had the fight in Australia against Izzy instead of Strickland. And he says, well, I'm not going to compromise my title shot and go into it half injured. And he didn't. And it's worked out for him. It didn't look like it was going to work out for him, but it did. And thankfully, he got his title shot, his deserved title shot. Do you think he turns around to UFC and goes, I've just won the belt. I do not want to lose it, especially to this person. I can't turn around and rush in the same way I've seen Aljamain Sterling do it and then lose to Sean O'Malley. You're going to have to wait. And if he does do that, how does the UFC respond, in your opinion?
Well, I don't think he got a choice.
Such an evil law.
I don't think he got a choice, because I reckon he got the call from Dana when this is the plan. You don't like it, I'm stripping that thing off you, because I don't particularly like you, and I like Izzy. So I reckon that's how that conversation is going. You'll fight when I tell you to fight, that sort of thing. No, but for me, like, that is such an easy way to do this. To tell Drickus, rest, heal. Dana even hinted that they may go to South Africa at the end of the year. Funny how you could do that for Drickus, but when you literally had the three kings of Africa all having belts at once, you couldn't find a way to get to Africa. But now Drickus is the champ.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Maybe we'll go to South Africa at the end of the year. But if I'm Drickus, I'm doing the same thing as I did after the Whittaker fight. Tell the UFC I'm a bit banged up. It's obvious that he is banged up. and I'll be like, I'll take the winner of Whitaker Costa. And then, Izzy needs to fight a contender. And there's a certain guy that's a yapping. I've been promised title shot, brother. Well, why not you fight
Yeah.
a former champ? And then if you win, you get the shot. If not, you can wait. So I think there is an easy way to do it. Or Drickus goes, I want to decisively beat Strickland. I don't want any of this. Oh, Sean should have won. I want to, do a proper job, and I'll wait for both of us to heal up, and then we'll have a rematch. Because does UFC 300 need Izzy versus Drickus?
Well, before I chime in, let me ask you another question, bro.
Yeah.
Which fight is the bigger fight for UFC 300? Is it Dricus Du Plessis versus Strickland 2, or is it Dricus Du Plessis versus Adesanya? Right now.
I was going to add a third, Izzy versus Alex Pereira 3.
I don't think Izzy's
probably
doing
the bigger
that.
fight. It's probably Drickus Izzy.
Right now, would you say so? Because I don't know if it is right now.
Well, I have to say, yeah, since Drickus has won the belt, he's been cooking. He's cooked Drake. He's cooked Strickland again. Because Strickland said, and he was like, "Yeah, how about you go cry some more?" And then Ian Gary, I don't know whether or not you've seen Gary's reaction, and Ian was like, "For a fight like that, somebody told me to retire," and then Drickus went, "Don't worry, someone will." So he's been cooking everybody.
Yes,
at the belt, so anybody can get it from Drickus. But no, if he's a businessman, he will know that this fight is going to be huge. Why don't we wait until I'm 100%? Because I'm the champ. I realistically should be calling the shots to a certain extent, or else you get the John Jones situation of I'll fight and who I'll fight sort of thing. So, Drickus shouldn't be forced to fight Izzy now. Izzy should fight someone else. Not like Izzy just got the belt to Drickus and Izzy deserves a rematch straight away. Like, Izzy needs to, win another fight, but contenders are looking pretty slim because he's beaten.
I was just going to say that all the contenders are effectively either coming off long layoffs or losses. So if they're all coming off losses, do you not go with the highest ranked one in that division? And again, I'm with you. I love Izzy. I think he's a fantastic fighter, and I like him as a person.
Izzy cooked Strickland as well,
Yeah, I'm sure.
The
reaction,
Strickland's title reign, and Izzy
just laughing. So here's the thing. One, I don't think they fight 300 because I don't think DDP can turn around that quick after that fight. I think they want that fight for South Africa, which makes a lot of sense. But I'm with you. I do think Strickland deserves the immediate rematch before Izzy should get a title shot. And if that's the case, I'd be happy matching Izzy up with one of the other contenders. It's just a case of which one. Now, I know the common consensus would be HAMZAT, and it probably would be. But I don't know if HAMZAT deserves a fight against Izzy. He hasn't beat any top 15 middleweight, but yet he's ranked 9, which to me is crazy. That's absolutely crazy.
Hey, brother, they don't promise me title shot. I beat Usman, I get title shot.
He did, but it's just crazy. And I wanted to ask, are we fully in an era now where we're seeing money fights really prioritized and openly prioritized ahead of integrity fights that should be between the best fighters? And if so, again, I ask, how bad does this become? Because a lot.
Callum's gone. I think I follow on from that. I think we are going in. It's sort of weird, right? Because when you think of the UFC. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say the last thing I want to see as an MMA UFC fan is it become like boxing. And I feel like we're starting to head down that route. And it feels like boxing is now starting to become like UFC was, where the best are fighting the best. So
yeah, I think the boxing, think there's one big denominator in boxing, and Saudi's gotten involved, and sort of all the promoters that didn't really like each other, Saudi's just gone, oi, sit down. These are the zeros on the end of the check. You make the fight. And the UFC, because the UFC, it's one company, won by one man that calls the shots. So if he likes you, he likes you. And if he doesn't, he doesn't, sort of thing. And it's sort of weird, right? Because their model has changed, because before they relied on the pay-per-views. Like they relied heavily on pay-per-views. But since that ESPN deal, they have to run a certain amount of events a year, and they get paid up front every year. So that's why they're still having cards at the Apex, because one, it's super cheap to run. It's super cheap to have.
It's next to nothing.
Which is literally next to nothing. You stick 2,000 fans in there. It's sort of great. I'd
You
love
make
to.
that money back. You make that money back in one night.
To go to watch a fight at the Apex. Do you want to know how much it costs? $2,000.
Yeah, it's
$2,000, and some of those cards are horrible.
Yeah,
they're like Contender Series cards. Oh, just poor fans paying $2,000 for that.
Yeah, unless it's a killer main event and co-main, then you're really just paying $2,000 to be in the Apex.
Yeah. Oh, Jamie, is that actually true? I'll check that what's coming. Talking that better not be true.
So, do you know what? That's a good little segue. And today, HAMZAT had an interview with Brett Okamoto, and I'll read a couple of quotes. I'll read the main quotes. So HAMZAT, speaking to Brett, said this about Strickland, who came out before the fight and said, "Don't really think he deserves a title shot." Now, HAMZAT didn't hold back, and he said, "I came to your gym and beat you up. No one would ever come to my gym and beat me up, but I came to your gym and beat you up. How can you say I don't deserve a title shot? Who else does deserve it?" HAMZAT's pretty peed off. Now, Gron, he possibly did. He possibly did. But let me play the clip, because I don't think I can do it justice. So just bear with me one moment, because HAMZAT's furious, and I don't think he's got a reason to be furious. And I actually side with Strickland on this one. So here's a clip.
Coach, man, he went to his coach.
Funny. Why are they wrong?
Ask that guy who was beating him up every day in the gym, man. So, how many times I submit that guy? How many times I beat him up? He went to his coach, man. He went to his coach. Please tell the guy, man, go easy, go easy. And the guy going with this different, he said, like, I went crazy with the guys who was going 166 or this shit, man. He's lying, man. He's lying. He trying to, like, he say, I'm this, I'm that. I'm against the game. He's trying to be some macho, man. You're not macho, man. When I punch you hard, you went to your coach and said, please tell the guy, go easy. Oh, fuck off, man. What are you talking about? I beat you up. Was running for me. I've been in his home, man. I've been in his gym. Nobody never comes to my gym and trying to beat me up, you know. Did you see anyone? Did you heard anyone coming to my gym and trying to beat me up? I went to all these guys. I went to all the gyms. I've been everywhere. I'm not scared of anyone. So I'm beat up, all of them. I don't remember I lose my sparring.
Once again.
God, this guy's losing.
He didn't hold back at all.
You've been duped. You've been duped. Dana's done the pump fake. wait, like that.
He didn't hold back at all.
This guy's the call-out king.
I don't like the whole training thing. You can get an idea from training. You can. But I don't think it's the be all and end all. And look, I've sparred with people in training and I've had good rounds against people. But I know if it was a real fight setting, those same people I've had good rounds against would absolutely tear my head off. Training's not the be all and end all. So that's the first thing. Second, I mean, what claim does he have to say he deserves a title shot? Because he hasn't beaten anyone in the top 15 of that division. He beat Kamaru Usman, who took the fight on a short notice at a weight division above the weight division he usually fights at. That for me can't guarantee you a title shot. You've got Whitaker there, you've got Costa, Cannonier's right there without an opponent.
I think it's like Marvin Vettori.
Is he?
I think
They've run that. They can't be running that back again. Cannonier beat the brakes off him.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong.
Even Vettori, but I've got to see you in there with at least a top 8 middleweight. And I'm not saying you don't beat these guys. You probably do. But we still have to see it. Because how many times have we said A beats B, but B ends up beating A? Like, we need to actually see the evidence of HAMZAT winning these fights. Otherwise, it is just hype.
Jamie, I know they said Dana said HAMZAT next after his win. How many times has Dana said one thing and done the complete opposite? Like, it's so funny. Yeah, this guy's the call-out king.
He is.
Call-out king. Leon wins belt. I'll see you soon, brother. Alex Pereira wins belt. I'll see you soon, brother.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. Like, this guy, like, Sean Strickland wins belt. I'll see you soon. Strickland wins. I'll see you soon. I'm shocked he didn't say after Racco Pennington won, I'll see you soon. But, no, mate, this guy's hype. Like the steam behind him is
It's
run
crazy.
out.
However,
Out.
do you think he has run out, or is he just one a performance away from getting all that momentum again?
He had the opportunity against Kamaru Usman to really put down a statement, even though people would have given Usman the excuse short notice. That was his opportunity.
Yeah.
But he struggled. I know he broke his hand in the first round.
Yeah.
But HAMZAT looks like that fighter. If you get past the first round,
could be in trouble.
You know, are you still in? He's got that bedroom cardio.
The thing is, not many fighters will get out of the first round with him, though.
Yeah,
That's
exactly,
the scary
but-
thing. Similar to what Conor was like.
Yeah.
Conor in the first 2 rounds was about as deadly as it gets. After that, he'd slow down a little bit and you'd be able to make reads on him and usually get him later on in the fight. Do you think HAMZAT gets a nice title shot? We've
No.
spoken about Duplessis, we've spoken about Strickland, we've spoken about Izzy. Is there a world where HAMZAT gets the next title shot? And if so, does he have a chance against Duplessis?
He probably does have a chance. But he's not going to get next title shot. Because how can you get a title shot when you're, the last time he fought a welterweight, a middleweight was Jared Mershaft.
Yeah.
Like, come on, like he needs.
That was during the pandemic as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was in the pandemic era, and he needs like a consistent run. He needs to fight like regularly, and like when you look at the division, him versus Marvin Vettori, like please just fight a ranked middleweight, please.
Yeah.
Obviously, he can't fight Delitse and who else? Oh yeah, because they're fighting. But someone like a Marvin Vettori, a Jared Cannonier, once he's back from injury, like give me something to go. Yeah, that's the guy for the next shot. For me, he's all talk. He's all talk, and he's a super talented fighter. But come on, man, you've got to do more than say Dana promised me this, Dana promised me that. When's Dana sat in the press conference, said one thing, and then they're just going
all the time.
All the time.
He'll say he never makes fights on the night.
Which is a lie.
He did it. He did it at the weekend. He pretty much said Pena's next for Raquel Pennington's title. So again, few and far between. Great comment here by Jamie. I think UFC has changed and you don't need to go down the rankings anymore. It's money fights now. If that's the case, then we're in the boxing era then.
Yeah, that's why I think I did the video a little while ago why the double champ stuff feels cheap.
Yeah.
It feels cheap.
Especially at the moment.
it doesn't feel special anymore. Like maybe when we get someone going for like a triple champ, maybe that will feel really special. But other promotions have done that. But it just feels cheap. Doesn't feel special. You're getting a champ after they've won the belts. They want to go up a division. I'm like, hold on, mate. You got a boatload of contenders that you need to go through before you even consider going up. But money talks. Unfortunately, money talks.
Indeed. Let us know in the comments, guys, who will get the first title shot at middleweight. Will it be HAMZAT Chimaev, Israel Adesanya, or Sean Strickland? Speaking of title shots, got to speak about a certain featherweight who really showed up and showed out, and Evloev may now be a contender in the 145-pound division. Didn't start the fight great. Arnold Allen looked absolutely brilliant. In the second half, his wrestling and grappling really took over. And then in the third round, we had the controversy of the knee strikes. Now, technically, the knee strikes were illegal, given where the fight is in Canada and the commission there. For me, something needs to be done there. There needs to be a blanket commission so everyone knows the rules and everyone remembers the rules, because all the rules are the same wherever you go. That being said, though, before fighting Arnold Allen, Evloev was ranked number 9. Arnold Allen was ranked number 4. He's just beaten Arnold Allen. So you'd presume he takes a number 4 spot. Above him is Max Holloway, who's the ultimate gatekeeper. Volk, obviously the champion. Brian Ortega and Yair Rodriguez, who are fighting in February in UFC Mexico.
Ilya? I think
sorry. No, Ilya's number 5.
No, I think the rankings have changed. So Evloev's 5. Ortega is 4.
How's Ortega managed to hang on to his
I told ranking? You, he's got something. He's got something on Dana. He must do. But did you hear Dana's comments about that fight between Evloev and Allen?
Yeah, I did.
This is why this guy's a casual. This is why he does not care anymore, because he went, "Come on, guys, that's the most boring. Come on, guys, that's the most boring fight I've seen."
Sorry, bro. The new rankings are Max number 1, so Volk champion Max 1, Yair 2, Ilya 3, Ortega 4, Evloev 5, Arnold 6. I mean, Toporia's jumped from number 5 to number 3, and he hasn't even had a fight. Again, that makes no sense to me. And I'm not saying he should have a fight, because he's got a title fight coming up, but he hasn't won a fight. So why is his ranking being pushed up? That to me is crazy. And then for me, Evloev, if let's say Volk wins and he wins in a fashion whereby we don't see an immediate rematch, I think it's got to be Evloev next, based on record, recent wins, and ranking, and the fact that the other two above him are fighting each other. I don't know if you agree.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I think if I'm Evloev, I'm crossing everything, fingers I can, toes and everything, hoping Volkanovski gets a dominant win over Topuria, because that's the fight we need to see. Unless Dana really doesn't like him and just feeds him to Max for Max to beat and go, "Yep, sorry, mate, you lost to Max, so down the rankings you go, son." Because I think he was so out of order for what he said. He was like, guys, like 17-0, he's got like 7 decisions in the UFC. He's just not that good, is he? I'm thinking, yo, Dana, you do not care anymore.
Here's the thing. It's weird that Dana does that, because as a promoter, you don't want to downplay the people you've got on your roster. And look, I'm not even saying Evloev is the most exciting fighter. I thought that was a good fight. I don't think it was a brilliant fight, a great fight, but I don't think it deserved criticism like it received. And if Evloev's winning, he's winning. It's someone else's job to stop him winning. Whether he gets another 19 by decision or 19 by KO, he's still winning the fight. And I think Dana's got to do a bit better with that sort of stuff, rather than dumping on your fighters, build them up a little bit. He could have completely switched the narrative and said, look, it wasn't one of his best performances, but he showed great tackle, great submission defense, great grappling, good punching. He's improving. So he's still at the beginning, but wait till he fights one of wait till he fights a champion and see how he gets on. So I don't know, man. I find it weird. I find it really weird what Dana's doing at the moment with regards to dumping on fighters, especially fighters who don't deserve it.
Hey, Dana, Dana does Dana things. Dana goes to sleep one day thinking, yeah, this is what I want to do. Wakes up the next day, like, what did I do yesterday? Yeah, F that, we're doing something else.
Yeah, it's true. It's
like,
true.
Dana hated Mighty Mouse.
Yeah,
Dana hated arguably the best mixed martial artist of all time. Arguably.
And look how some of the finishes Mighty Mouse got an armbar of 1 second to go, knockout finishes, the suplexes from the armbar. Like, the guy did it all. He really did. And Dana was like, well, Ben Askren makes more money. We'll have him.
But to be honest, that Ben Askren one made Masvidal a star, which then made Usman a star. So in that respect, in like the money making sense, yeah, he probably did make the UFC a lot of money, but the disrespect a legend like that just out the door. But you're giving you're giving two legends a retirement fight with one foot out the door. You know, agendas need to agenda.
Completely agree.
Yeah.
Completely agree. But Luke, gonna wrap up there. Bit of a topical one this week. Not as much fun as we usually have, but hopefully we'll be back to that normal fun and laughter of a show next week. Where can the people find you and support you, bro?
Yeah, so you can find me on my channel. His name's just Luke Tanner, my name. I'm probably gonna do a video tomorrow on trying to think what was I gonna do on then. I had an idea. I think it's about Tom Aspinall.
Yeah, the Tom Aspinall tweet.
Because he's been tweeting, and I feel sorry for him. But not like that, like not like that. But I feel his frustration. So there'll be a video on that tomorrow evening.
Perfect. Also, Jamie Phillips is in the chat, guys. Go and follow Jamie Phillips of Football Chats. Go and subscribe to his channel. Go and like his videos. We'll be back to filming hopefully next week, if not the week after. But that doesn't stop you from subscribing and watching back content that he's already produced. People, we're going to wrap up there. It's been a fun one. It hasn't been as fun, but if there's any people I'd like to speak to about this subject, it is people like Luke, who one are open-minded, can two articulate themselves, and we'll say it how it is. So Luke, much appreciations, bro. As
Pleasure,
always.
man.
People, if you haven't already, smash that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Till we see you again on the Sanderson Show. Thank you all for watching and take care, everyone.